C-90A King Air arrived at the maintenance facility I used to work at. The aircraft had 5 years' time in service and 1,200 hours since new. Previously, this King Air had been inspected under warranty by Raytheon-approved maintenance facilities. Normally, I was assigned to accomplish the PT-6 engine inspections. However, this time I was assigned to perform the airframe inspections. During my inspections of the left-wing aileron and aileron trim tab cables, I saw this. As shown in this picture, the smaller aileron trim tab cable is wrapped around the larger aileron control surface cable. The cables are rubbing together and causing damage to both cables. In this picture, both cables are deflected. The aileron trim tab cable is deflected down, and the aileron control surface cable is deflected up. This situation caused both cable tensions to be in error, and movement of the aileron control surface could change the aileron trim tab setting. Since there was no logbook entry showing aileron control surface cable or aileron trim tab cable replacement, this cable wrap-around situation error must have been done at the Raytheon aircraft factory. Perhaps the aircraft factory inspectors assumed everything was put together properly, perhaps during the previous 3 or 4 airframe inspections prior to this one. The mechanics assumed that the cables were all correct and failed to examine them since the aircraft was fairly new and had low time in service. At the end of this inspection, the cables were untangled, parts replaced, proper cable tensions were set. I was glad I didn't make assumptions and performed the required inspection. The aircraft left in a better and safer condition than when it came in. The right landing light on this Learjet 35 stopped working. The pilots brought the aircraft to the facility I was working at and contracted with one of the mechanics to fix it. The mechanic chosen for the job had previously worked for a Learjet repair facility. The first thing he did was replace the landing light bulb. However, that didn't fix the problem. Pressed to come up with a solution. He made the assumption that the problem was in the right main landing gear down and locked switch. The assumption was made that the entire right gear down and locked switch wire harness had to be replaced. With the mechanic's assumption in mind, the pilots took the Learjet to a repair facility in Houston, Texas, and had the right main landing gear down and locked wire harness replaced. A week and several $1,000s later, the right landing light still didn't work. Frustrated with the time and money spent trying to fix this problem, the pilots brought the Learjet back to the place I worked and requested for me personally to figure out the landing light problem. Assigned to the task. The first thing I did was look at the wiring diagrams. This particular wire diagram was the key. It contains the landing light activation relay that turns the landing light on when the gear is down and locked and turns the landing light off when the gear is in any other position except down and locked. The circuit board for the right and left landing light relays was mounted in the tail cone area. The ground for the relays were located in the down and locked position switch in the main landing gear actuators. I gained access to the circuit board and found this diode was burnt out. I replaced the diode on the circuit board, and the right landing light has worked ever since then.
No.